Nick Pereira, glad to have you back. And we just saw an interesting match, back and forth. Nico called it a hot potato match at the end. Both players were saying, no, you take it, and it was Felix who would come away victorious.
Well, I think he's going to be happy after this one. He lost the final last week to Zverev in that same court. That's his 6th finals loss. He has no titles yet, a guy that really deserves one. He's into the top 20. And Gerasimov was a tough opponent, but I think Felix was lucky to get away after being down a set and Gerasimov serving for the match. He really has to be happy with this.
Yeah. I think credit to Felix Auger-Aliassime because, losing triple match points, sometimes you don't recover from that. And certainly he had to do a hard reset to get himself into the tiebreak. Wasn't the best finish from him, was a little bit scratchy, didn't quite have the glue on some of his shots, but he came up with the goods when he needed to. And sometimes that's what it is in a match. You take what you can get and hopefully build on it for the next one.
A win's a win, and Felix Auger-Aliassime is in to the next round. We will have full highlights of that match, but we're going to start in Ostrava. Mentioned Victoria Azarenka. She was earlier today, and Chanda, Vika got the job done, but it wasn't necessarily as easy as maybe she would have hoped.
Yeah, Krejcikova, beautiful backhand there. She's been playing some confident tennis, coming off of a round of 16 showing at Roland Garros, her first at a major, and it showed. But Vika Azarenka, she is one of the best competitors there, changing it up, finding ways to get into that second set. This match was a lot closer than it seemed on the scoreline, but look at that little shot. Got a little fortunate there on her knee. Happy that went over and sat right on the net for a bit and then just kissed it right over, right, Nico? That was one of the points for Azarenka to really solidify this match at the very end, but just a comprehensive effort from her in terms of the focus, the mental state, a nice win.
2 hours and 13 minutes later, we're here from Vika and coming back from a set down.
I think my fighting spirit really is to find, to kind of push myself to try to find the way. I think that was the key. And then I kind of started to play a bit more my game. I felt that she was, one step a bit ahead of me the whole time in the first set. And then I needed to step it up. But I feel like my fighting spirit got me to that point.
So for Azarenka, she will now move on to the quarterfinals and take on either Elisa Mertens or Karolina Muchova, as Mertens got through earlier today as well. And Chanda, this was another interesting match going up against the American Amanda Anisimova, and it was Mertens who would eventually prevail. But for this tournament, for this draw that we've seen, certainly big names involved, and Victoria Azarenka continues to play well.
Yeah, and not easy playing your first match, a player who's already played one, who's in a little bit of a better rhythm as Krejcikova was, and playing confident tennis. And Azarenka, we've seen that from her in the last couple of months where, she has just found a way. She's dug in. She believes in her game now. It's starting to flow in matches, and she's been through a lot. And that perspective, you just, that's not something you can buy. And I think for Azarenka, it's showing in these tough situations, and she's happy out there in court. And she's looking good. So I think if she continues to build, she could continue to do some damage, especially as she goes into the start of next year.
And what a story. And she talked about the fighting spirit. And we love the 1.0 version of Azarenka fighting against Serena Williams. She was the one with the will when Serena was really playing well. And we counted her out after she was a mother, had all those issues, and loved seeing what she did at the U.S. Open. She would not have done that pose in her first time around, and she's doing it. She's enjoying herself on the court, and that's what tennis is all about, not lacking that fighting spirit and pulling matches like that out.
Look, you can never underestimate mom strength. This is my, I would say, a thing that I live life by is I never doubt somebody who with the mom strength, and Vika Azarenka is proving that once again. We'll go over to the men and check out what happened with Alexander Zverev. Nico and I called this match, and Zverev came in with a lot of momentum from that Cologne 1 victory last week, and in the first set, Nico, he really looked like it.
Well, Millman is a fighter, but Zverev was just coming off the title on this same court just a couple of days earlier and came off the blocks really strong. We know the serve issues that did not show up in the first set, but boy, did they in the second. 3 double faults to give out the break, and Millman was right on the horse. He closed the second set with that angle, and he was looking strong. Zverev had to go back and find some strengths. He's been doing some off-court work mentally, trying to dominate the service issues. And you know his backcourt game suffers when he's not serving well. And to his credit, he was able to come back on this one. Millman just did not do enough, doesn't have enough firepower to compete against the guy that's Zverev, number 7 in the world, giving credit to playing 250s back-to-back in his country. And he looked relieved, more than ecstatic, in going through Millman on this one.
Nearly 2 hours on the court between these two, and it led into this match. So the two late matches all together, nearly 5 hours on court, Nico.
Well, Gerasimov is a solid performer. You know, we saw him play Rafa Nadal, lost 4-4-2 first round of the French Open. And Auger-Aliassime was, coming out of his 6th loss in the final. He got a bye in the first round. Gerasimov won easily. Then you saw Freddie Fontaine, the French ex-top 100 player. He's been with Auger-Aliassime for a long time, and Auger is just having issues with the forehand. He's just not confident in it. He did not do enough to get Gerasimov off his backcourt game. Gerasimov is a solid player, but if you keep him on his heels like Auger did it in this instance, you have an advantage. And had match points like Chanda mentioned, did a good job on coming back, and this is one he's happy to have in the bag with a W.
Well, yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit more about that point. So for Felix, he gets the win, and that's really all that matters. Of course, falling in the final to Zverev a week ago in Cologne, and had his opportunities, but it was a straight set 3-3 victory for Zverev for his first title in 2020. But Chanda, is there anything almost, I guess, reassuring about not playing your best and still coming away with a victory in this type of moment?
Yeah, I think there always is, but for Auger-Aliassime at this point, I would think it'd be more frustrating than anything else, because those are the type of matches you want to get through a lot cleaner. It helps your confidence, certainly helps you continue to build, especially as you look to win, a title, your first title. And, so I think going back to the drawing board in terms of when you get in those situations and just understanding how to develop your points, how to give yourself bigger margins, bigger target areas, but still hit out confidently. I think that's where Auger-Aliassime is right now. And a little bit of frustration, but certainly getting through a match like that, he has another chance to keep improving.
Yeah, and this was anything but clean on Auger-Aliassime's part. And he had a stretch there where he lost 9 out of 10 points in that third set. The forehand's shaky, and clean is the word he's looking for when he's at this level against a player like Gerasimov, who is very, very solid off the ground. He has to look for ways to finish up the point, especially on a court as slow as this one.
Well, the show goes on tomorrow, and we have it all on Tennis Channel. All 3 events are continuing right here on TC. And Chanda, the day starts with Coco Gauff.
Yeah, that should be a very fun one. Sabalenka, they played before, and Gauff has been able to get the better of her, but it's never easy. This will definitely test the youngster once again.
Nico, I like Shapovalov. I know you're a big fan. Taylor Fritz is also in action, but Shapo with that big one-handed backhand is always fun to watch.
Yeah, full of names, but certainly after watching Auger-Aliassime, we know Dennis and Felix will go hand in hand, and Shapovalov has been playing great tennis off late, so I'm looking forward to him playing a guy that plays a completely different style and is a veteran on Gilles Simon. Again, Dennis has made great strides, and he's a newly minted top tenor, so what's not to like there?
So you got Shapovalov and Raonic, 2 Canadians in action. Should be a lot of fun throughout the day. Again, we'll have all the coverage here on Tennis Channel, but still plenty more to go through here on Tennis Channel Live.